Let's bring in Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt. He serves on the Senate Armed Services Committee. I want to put up on the board here for everyone just to show in the last 2 weeks, these are the suspects of homeland terror attacks right here in our country, and still the Homeland Security Department is closed. Your first thoughts this morning as we get into week 3 of the war in Iran and then this heightened concern at home?
Well, look, the Democrats ultimately are more obsessed with defunding ICE than they are protecting the American people. This is part and parcel of Trump derangement syndrome. We should be funding the Department of Homeland Security at this moment. The risk is certainly heightened. The Democrats are playing petty politics about it. And look, the fact is, Joe Biden and the Democrats let in 15 million people here illegally. We do not know who a lot of these people are. There are tens of thousands of murderers, hundreds of thousands of violent criminals that are in our communities because of Democrat policies. And so we need to make sure DHS is funded. The deportations need to continue. We also need to expand the category, Dana, of people who can be denaturalized and sent home, who are, reforming the legal immigration system, because I've got a bill called the Scam Act that would allow us to do that. So if you've committed acts of terrorism, if you've committed the welfare fraud like we saw in Minneapolis, if you're part of a cartel, if you're engaged in that kind of activity, we can denaturalize you and send you home. Sadly, right now, it's very difficult to do that. It's very rare. And so we need to close the border, which has effectively been done. The deportations need to continue, and we need to open up the process for denaturalization.
You mentioned the Scam Act. Let's pull that up. Call for number 3, please. This is where you would say if you have welfare fraud, aggravated felonies, espionage, or drug cartels or foreign terrorist organizations, then your naturalized citizenship could be in jeopardy. So all of this is happening while the government remains shut down. Here are some Democrats pressed yesterday on the issue.
We offered vote after vote, resolution after resolution, even as recently as this week, to reopen those agencies, to fund them, and the Republicans voted it down. We said, let's wall off ICE funding. Let's fund these other agencies that protect the country.
Democrats have tried multiple times to try to get TSA, CISA, the Coast Guard funded. Republicans have refused time and time again to fund.
Yeah, they want the whole agency funded.
They want the whole agency. ICE is still out there doing reckless things in communities.
I mean, one of the things is that when they first came up with this in January, ICE was the main headline. We talked about it here all the time. Like, that was, it's not at this point. They got changes that they were seeking, not all the changes, but at some point, when do they stop making the flying public pay this bill for them?
Well, they're trying to appease their radical base. I mean, the party, I don't know any other way to say it, they've become radicalized. And, it was defund the police a few years ago. Now it's defund ICE. They've been at war with law enforcement now for the better part of a decade, and it's making Americans less safe. And just to put that in perspective, what sanctuary jurisdictions, Dana, what are they really? It is when a local government or local officials refuse to tell federal law enforcement like ICE when a convicted rapist or murderer is being released from prison. That's what it is. Think about how sick that is. That's what they're willing to do because they care more about not deporting people than the safety of Americans in their own communities. So this is an inverted morality. It's nuts.
Do you worry that because of this shutdown, we might, for law enforcement and intelligence, people who work at the Department of Homeland Security, all the stress, they don't have enough people, are you worried that they're going to miss one of these possible terrorists?
It's possible. Look, they're now on their second paycheck of not receiving a second paycheck. And if you stay connected, unlike the Democrats, you stay connected to real people's lives. Most people can't do that, right? Some people are going to look for other jobs. They're going to leave. These people have been charged with keeping the homeland safe. The idea that the Democrats are holding that funding hostage for their radical agenda of defunding ICE is totally nuts. It's not popular with the American people. My hope is that they'll come to their senses. We're going to go to the Save America Act this week. We're going to also continue to try to fund DHS. The Democrats are on the wrong side of both of these big, important issues.
Senator Schmitt, thank you for being here today. We appreciate it.
Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.